Chapter 10. The Book Recipe. Gilbert's Law. The biggest problem with a job is that no one tells you what to do. Pyramid transition. My research suggests that the pyramid functions like a living organism, with dynamic activity occurring at all levels despite its conservative nature and tendency to maintain equilibrium. Movement and growth within and between segments are possible, as the boundaries within the pyramid are not rigidly guarded. However, the challenge lies in understanding the conditions for upward mobility, which are not always clear, and no one holds exclusive control over these transitions. Still, you must go through the process and meet the necessary requirements to transition. The general trend is upward. Most people progress from low income to middle income, rather than directly becoming millionaires or billionaires. There is significant movement within the base group, but transitioning from the base to the isosceles group is occasional unless you're fortunate. These transitions are primarily driven by access to information, technological advancement, education, entrepreneurship, economic growth, or inheritance. Furthermore, apart from inheritance, these transitions are not purely dictated by anyone. You can decide to transition tomorrow if you choose to shift your mindset and work at it. The pyramid will allow it if you know how. Some people have ideas that can transition them but haven't looked at it in years. You can be in your garage working on a project that will take the world by storm tomorrow, but until then nobody knows. Your idea can be tucked away for months, even years, until you finally decide to share it with the rest of the world. Despite all of this inertia within the base group, wealth creation continues in the upper part of the base group. In 2000, the U.S. had approximately 7 million millionaires, a number that has surged to 24.5 million in 2024, an increase of over 250% in 24 years, averaging around 1% growth per year. In contrast, the growth of billionaires in the isosceles group has been slower. Their numbers increased from 300 in 2000 to 813 in 2024, reflecting 171% growth over the same period. Note that roughly half of the new billionaire wealth was self-generated. However, not everyone moves upward. Some individuals slip downward within the base group and from the upper groups. In 2000, about 31.6 million people in the U.S. lived in poverty. By 2023, that number has risen to 36.8 million. The key drivers of poverty remain the same: stagnant wages relative to the cost of living, rising housing and healthcare costs, and limited access to education and necessary information. Also, the rise in inflation disproportionately impacts low-income households, making essentials like food, housing, and energy increasingly unaffordable. While there are no strict gatekeepers between segments, that doesn't mean transitions are easy. Hurdles, competition, and monopolies exist at every level, making it hard to join a subset in the group. For many in the base group, upward mobility is difficult because they are too busy with the 9-to-5 work. Also, the struggle of daily living makes it difficult to navigate the complexities of a transition. The most productive hours of the day are typically from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and this time is spent preparing for work, working, and commuting home exhausted. As a result, many in the base group believe transitioning is impossible. Similarly, competition is fiercer than ever, and big companies employ various strategies, monopolies being one of the most powerful, to maintain their dominance. They make it difficult to earn trust or enter their markets. But then again, no one said it would be easy. Some monopolies emerge simply because a company got there first, secured exclusive space, or controlled valuable content, data, or product, and even policies. However, monopolies are often fleeting, like sinking sand. One misstep, and a better prepared competitor or a brand new company can take over. This vulnerability is particularly pronounced within the isosceles group, where members frequently become overconfident. More often than not, greed leads to companies losing their foothold in the market. Notable cases of lost monopolies: Uber gave way for Lyft, Enron Energy collapsed and other companies took its place. Kodak's lack of reading the handwriting on the wall gave way for Sony and smartphones. MySpace gave way to Facebook. Yahoo slowed down for Google. BlackBerry business phones stumbled for Apple and Android devices to hijack the market. Sears retail couldn't see it until Amazon and Walmart gained dominance. Lessons from these failures. The list above is not exhaustive, but these examples illustrate how overconfidence, greed, and failure to adapt can cause even dominant companies to fail. This list will continue to grow over the next decade because the positions occupied by the elite keep shifting and major corporations face bankruptcy every few years. It's almost like a predictable life cycle for the isosceles group. The reality is that countless people in the world are striving for the same opportunities, including your position, and they want what you have. If you slip, pause, or rest for too long, they'll be there, watching and waiting to take your place. Even your job is not safe. Don't complain, don't explain, just keep moving forward. That's the reality of the pyramid. Again, boundaries within the pyramid are fluid. What works for one may not work for another. As times, trends, and consumer preferences evolve, moving to a higher segment is neither simple nor easy, but it is possible. And when you get there, sustaining your progress requires constant vigilance, innovation, and adaptability. It is never over or done. Success is not guaranteed, but those who stay flexible and forward-thinking stand the best chance of maintaining their position. The book ladder. Books are another way to transition from one group to another in the pyramid, and many authors have written countless books with fantastic recipes and proprietary strategies on how to elevate members of the base group to the isosceles segment of the pyramid. And I believe many more are finding their way to the shelves even as you read this. These books often focus on how ordinary people can transform their lives, become wealthy, and escape trading time for money. I will not list any here, but after you read about 10 of them, it becomes obvious. The power is in you and how you apply yourself. Yet, despite the millions of self-improvement books sold, podcasts subscribed to, and thousands of hours of training programs attended, many people in the base group still struggle to make ends meet. This isn't to say that no one transitions from the base of the pyramid to higher levels, or that the books haven't been effective. In fact, many people do. A couple of people in church have done it, and we all know that the human ingenuity is a testament that it is all possible. Also, of the 500+ millionaires added each year in the US, many would have come from reading books, and the more books you read, the better your chance of success. Books are a powerful way to version and upgrade oneself, as true transformation happens from within while reading them. Similarly, reading helps disrupt the monotony of thoughts playing on repeat in your mind. Read widely. While it is possible to transition through the segments, the movement within the pyramid is gradual yet dynamic, maintaining a natural equilibrium. Not everyone at the base will quickly rise to the isosceles group and achieve wealth overnight. In fact, stability is far more important for the system than sudden prosperity for all. If such prosperity were to happen, the country would likely need to hire foreign labor to maintain function and restore stability. A dynamic rise and fall of people is a more sustainable approach. As such, the base group remains disproportionately large, with an invisible force often holding most people in place. Some countries have cultivated a strong middle class, and I hope more will follow their lead. However, my study suggests that the base will always remain foundational and vital, ensuring balance within the ecosystem. Still, you can break out of it if you know how. The truth is, it's not easy or straightforward to pick up a self-help book, follow its strategies, and expect your life to transform in just a few days or months. Clearly, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter book magic doesn't apply here, and for most of us in the base group, life doesn't work that way either. However, when the time is right, and with the right mindset, change can happen almost mysteriously, like a switch flipping in your mind or a quantum transition. But remember, this isn't an excuse to slack off or wait around. Consistent effort is the key to success. Stay focused. Also, being ahead doesn't guarantee success. You must keep up with the trends. Like a bicycle, Life only stays balanced when you keep moving right on to stay relevant. Even pioneering companies also file for bankruptcy, and so complacency is not an option. In addition, I observed that the purpose of these books isn't to provide a fail-proof roadmap to Mark Zuckerberg level of success. Books open your eyes and senses, filling you with valuable information and igniting a desire that makes you radiate and want to act. In scientific terminology, they raise you to an excited state. But what happens next? Scientific Concepts offers three possibilities or options. 1. Zero glow option. After all the excitement from the book, you quickly return to your normal state or ground state, dissipating that radiant spirit and energy without any lasting impact. All that information gets stored in your long-term memory, or as I call it, mental glaciers. No work done is done with the information in this option. 2. Fluorescence or flash glow option. Here, you lose excitement but with time. However, you retain the essence of what you learned. You can share your knowledge and experiment with it before settling back to your normal state. Some information is retained in your short-term memory while others move to your mental glacier. 3. Luminance or glow-in-the-dark option. The energy and excitement last longer as you share, apply, and find others to sustain it. Eventually, you return to your normal state, with the experience stored in both your short and long-term memory, ready to be used. The key question is, what is the quantum yield? Of all the quantum energy and knowledge or information absorbed from a book, how much do you actually use? Does it dissipate as heat and sweat during your excitement, or does it get stored away in a mental glacier for years, untouched and unused? To make the most of what you learn, you must act while the information is still fresh. One way to act is to first realize that these books elevate you to an excited state, sparking new ideas. These ideas are yours to keep and use because they are meant to inspire and nudge you forward in the right direction. That is to version you. When these ideas come, write them down. Ideas are fleeting, shaped by time, environment, and the mental state that inspired them, making them difficult to reproduce once lost. Capture them in detail as they come to mind and dedicate time to revisit and apply them. Note, these ideas can also come from any source and at any time, not just books. Typically allowing your senses experience new things or environments is a powerful way to spark ideas. Remember, your eyes, nose, ears, brain, heart, travel, projects, and experiences all serves as input channels to ignite a new version of yourself. The more books you read and the more experiences you accumulate, the better your chances of distilling and discovering what works for you. Success is deeply personal, thus, your recipe or ideas might differ from everyone else's. Expecting a book to deliver a step-by-step guide to fame or wealth has been unrealistic for me, especially since most self-help books are filled with overwhelming strategies that are difficult to follow or master. Life and work often get in the way, and many people don't even finish reading these books. Keep in mind that most individuals fail to keep their New Year's resolutions after the third week of February. Likewise, it can be challenging for them to finish a book, learn the strategies, and apply them effectively. The reality is, self-help books are part of a larger market targeting the base group, and the authors themselves often belong to this group, claiming extraordinary abilities. Some authors come up with a sequel anyways. I wonder why. Well, don't feel guilty if you're not where you want to be. Contentment is the true key to happiness and success, and good health and a sound mind trumps everything else. That said, if financial freedom and peace of mind are what you seek and you feel compelled to keep striving, keep exploring ideas and opportunities. There might just be a book or an idea that after a couple of tries would click or resonate with you. It's essential to acknowledge that there is no single automatic book lift or shortcut that will elevate everyone in the base group to success. As with everything, it's easier said than done. If someone like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk mentored you, the odds of replicating their specific achievements are slim. The timing, circumstances, and opportunities that worked for them may never align for you, as times and conditions are constantly changing. Even Mark Zuckerberg refused to sell Facebook to Yahoo, for $1 billion 2 years after it became a success. He said, "If we sell the company, we might not get another idea as good as this one." The isosceles group may mentor you, but generating the same successful idea, or an even better one, is still not guaranteed. However, it's a fantastic opportunity to be mentored by entrepreneurs who have already succeeded. Your chances of success will undoubtedly increase as a result. Even top musicians struggle to mentor themselves into replicating their past success or maintaining a streak of hit singles. Look at artists like Madonna, Beyoncé, Rihanna, Adele, Eminem, Drake, The Beatles, Elton John, Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, and Katy Perry. They all face this challenge. It's not as easy as it seems. Try searching for songs on YouTube with over 2 billion views, and you'll see just how rare, sustained success can be. Success isn't guaranteed by working harder or being overly cautious. And for musicians, just because you got a hit single last year does not guarantee you another one this year. Life is constantly changing. While effort, discipline, strategy, affirmations, visualization, and determination are crucial, other factors, like timing, circumstances, and what I call the triple X factor, luck, grace, chance, or blessings, play a significant role. These factors are difficult to replicate. What I found was that success generally requires blocks of time to think and work on something, a desire to build or iterate, and people to help you scale, either as partners, co-founders, employees, foot soldiers, or customers. These people are there to help build and support your dream. Also, it's important to mention here that people are the key to success, often hiding in plain sight. Throughout history, successful icons have built wealth and fame by leveraging the skills of others. You create the vision and sell it to them. They build it, but at a cost, whether as partners or employees. Members of the isosceles group create projects and businesses, gather the right people to fill essential roles, and then bring their vision to life. What others in the base group call work or a job, they see as a vision or a business. Trying to do everything alone makes success far more challenging. Delegating and empowering others is the smarter path forward. Only with a team you can make it. Henry Ford. For most of us today, success starts with a product or idea that others find valuable. Beyond that, it depends on the strategies mentioned earlier, and your connections, networks, and how you navigate your journey. Failure is an inevitable part of the process. It signals that you haven't yet reached your destination or acquired the needed essence to proceed to the next level. I think it serves as a reminder that growth and progress are still possible where you are now. The boundaries within the pyramid control movement, but they are not impenetrable or monopolized by a select few. Transition depends on your ideas, the people you involve, and your ability to execute them effectively. Moving forward, advancing up the pyramid demands patience, strategic planning, and resilience. Shortcuts are often tied to fraudulent practices. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. As we all know, great fortunes built on quick gains often come at a hidden cost. I say this because today, many aspiring entrepreneurs and companies target a desperate consumer base with promises of quick success and financial freedom through books, free training, and misleading guides. Unfortunately, many people in this group, eager for change, are willing to spend their limited earnings on programs and memberships that promise substantial financial rewards. Many mentors, entrepreneurs, and programs you see online or in ads have realized that scaling through a volume model is simpler than spending hours, days, or years working on something themselves, even with their own so-called winning strategy. A traditional job isn't much different. As Elon puts it, depending on a single source of income from one employer or your own effort would take thousands of years to achieve a meaningful financial freedom. Earning $1 million becomes much more achievable when a reasonable amount is collected from millions of people in exchange for a product, service, or item, or by having people work for you. Big companies understand that strategies like premiums, fees, memberships, and subscriptions are a faster and simpler way to generate billions in revenue, compared to working alone for long hours. Some key insight I've gathered from studying the various paths to the top include the following. Staying open to books, experiences, people, places, projects, and ideas could lead to your next big opportunity. Failure is just an opportunity to reevaluate, adjust, and try again. Staying curious and keeping your mind active is a better state of mind. Success comes when the right idea meets the right conditions and mindset, but it always begins with taking the first step. The real power is in starting. Your idea is a seed, and starting is putting the seed into the soil. At this point, the idea is out and the dark incubation process of growing and surviving begins, under some set conditions, soil and environment. No one knows the full genetic makeup of your seed. All you do is plant it and work on it. What becomes of it and the directions afterwards are only revealed with time. Jack Ma never knew starting Alibaba would one day put him in the AI space, and neither did Jeff Bezos know about AWS when he started selling books online. Remember, there are so many factors, including the triple X factors, you can't control. It is a game of starting and of chance. As Mark Cuban wisely noted, you only need to get it right once. A single successful venture or an idea can transform your life. One good idea, they say, is worth millions, but it is a choice you must make to move forward or to remain stagnant. And to remain is to wither under the weight and pressure of the pyramid. Persistence and openness to opportunity are your greatest allies. Ideas and people are the true vehicles of success. The 5 laws and boundaries. The following laws repeatedly stood out during my reading and are worth considering as you navigate both the pyramid and life. I summarize the laws here to fit with the pyramid. Murphy's Law: expect challenges and setbacks. Prepare, adapt, and stay resilient when things go wrong, because things will, brilliantly or wickedly, go wrong. We cannot help it. Gilbert's Law: personal growth relies on knowledge, skill, opportunities, and clarity of focus. Spend time building your best brand, which is you. Kydland's Law: success comes from relying on your own abilities and taking personal responsibility, not waiting for external help. It starts with you first and then a team. Wilson's Law: persistence is key to success. Once you know you are facing the right direction, the winning horse, keep pushing forward despite setbacks or slow progress. Due north is always due north, and due success is inevitably due success. In line with Kaizen, I believe that moving forward in the right direction, no matter the pace, is the way to success. No need to waste effort on the wrong idea or direction. Keep doing the right thing consistently and change will come. Law of attraction: expect good things to happen to you and good things will come. I added this here instead of Falkland's Law because of the triple X factor that we can't control. The energy you put into the world is important because it shapes what you receive in return. For this section, I would like to add that attraction for me is linked with manifestations or imagination, which is actually creativity. So, learn to attract things by being creative about what you want. Paint the clearest, most vivid picture of what you truly desire. What I've found among members of higher circles can be summed up like this: actions sharpen your thoughts, and your thoughts refine your actions. They grow together. Taking time to create a clear mental picture of what you want in life will ultimately shape how you act. Creativity today is highly valuable to escape the generic world. Repeating creative practices forces a new manifestation, which is the energy to send out to the universe, and this is what now creates that attraction of positive results and expectations. There is reality, but to enhance your chances for success, you must apply the law of attraction to elevate your mindset and expectations, preparing for a favorable triple X factor. Every day, work on distilling your thoughts, emotions, and actions to be creative, and then magnetically pull your best creativity towards you. Start with a dominant mindset of abundance, confidence, and a can-do mentality. When you focus on abundance, growth, and success, you naturally attract the people, opportunities, and circumstances that help manifest your goals. Even the triple X factor can work in your favor if you learn how to attract blessings. What you seek is also seeking you. Persian poet Rumi. Finally, The keys to navigating the pyramid boundaries of work and life are not hidden by the conservative keepers of the pyramid. The catalyst of success have always been within us. We are in a universe of opportunities and possibilities. But before I touch on the keys used by the isosceles group, it is important to ask, what truly keeps the base group in their place? And why do they become the strong pillars and scaffolds installed at the base? The answer I found is acquired negative molecular habits, habits of hesitation, procrastination, complaining, waiting for magic, laziness, fear, doubt, hopelessness, indiscipline, complacency, inaction, and a lack of willpower and willingness to experiment on life itself. These habits all start as small nudges and suggestions, and then using a reversed Kaizen approach, increase daily and weekly until they become irreversible or problematic after many years of practice and growth. And that is why Will Durant puts it best, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not act but a habit. Will Durant. These patterns of negative habits create an invisible barrier keeping us locked in the base, and it becomes worse as we age. All big problems are built on tiny, molecular habits and decisions. They're molecular because, like molecules, these choices have consistent, repeatable properties. If we take care of small cancerous decisions, major destructive issues may never arise in the future. What's more, these habits become reinforced through spontaneous synchronizations by staying in an environment or culture of like-minded individuals or groups, and it makes things now seem normal to us. But in truth they act as barriers and inhibitors, keeping millions perpetually at the base of the pyramid. Each new generation of hope sleepers and procrastinators inherits the slack and picks up where the last left off, trapped in the same cycle of waiting for something to happen, rather than taking control of their own future. Then, one day gray hair begins to sprout, and suddenly you are the one asking for a senior's discount. Where did the time go? It is obvious why the base of the pyramid retains procrastinators, those of empty dreams, passive hope, and many of fantasy ambitions without solid foundations and actions. Ironically, the keys of the isosceles group are also habits. Yes, but molecular habits rooted in positive actions. A group of positive molecular habits makes a lot of difference over time. The isosceles group apply action-driven habits in their lives and business, and the difference lies not in mere existence of the words but in their molecular function and application. Every molecular action creates a direction. Here are some examples of the molecular habits that shape their action. 1. Take action habits. Start with an idea, begin something valuable, build on it, create something meaningful, and grow your vision. Action shapes thought, thought shapes action, they feed each other, that's how momentum's built. 2. Stay resilient habits. Persist through challenges, plan strategically, pivot or disrupt outdated models and overcome challenges. 3. Drive change habits. Disrupt when you can, innovate to stay ahead, transform your approach and develop new skills. 4. Lead effectively habits. Delegate wisely, empower others, employ and attract top talent, and execute with purpose. 5. Achieve success habits. Advance forward, achieve your goals, expand with the times, elevate your work, and scale your impact. 6. Keep improving habits. Evolve with change, inspire those around you, optimize your efforts, and progress continuously. To move upward within the pyramids, these habits should be integral to your work and daily life. Members of the isosceles group apply them often, making them central to their actions and mindset. Incorporating them into your vocabulary and everyday actions will attract success, transform your life, and break the barriers keeping you trapped in the base. According to the Kaizen model, good progress takes time, but like a muscle, action strengthens with consistent practice. I believe you can begin to overcome the limitations of the base if you start today, and so can I. Your limitation is your way up. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. The 6-month model. Taking action is no easy feat. It is a journey that most people in the base would rather not take because of the long and arduous landscape of failures, versioning, and expenses. Newton's third law says it best: For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Maybe that's why taking action feels hard. Resistance is part of the process, but that pushback, it's a sign you're making progress. However, I've found that taking small, consistent steps helps navigate the pyramid's challenges. I call this the 6-month model. I noticed that those in the isosceles group and large corporations track their progress through quarterly reports. This helps them identify areas for improvement, allocate resources, monitor expenses, and drive overall growth. Most importantly, it keeps them on track for a strong annual report. Likewise, those in the base group can adopt a similar approach on a smaller scale to jumpstart their journey. Success in this model isn't easy, but it provides a structured way to take action and see results. To move through Newton's resistance, we take small, almost imperceptible steps, but they add up. The key is to stay focused on the process rather than getting caught up in worries or overanalyzing the hows and whys. There are two key aspects of the model: action and evaluation. Here's how the action part works. For the next 6 months, commit to reading as many books as possible, exploring new activities, meeting new people, and trying new things. A new approach is necessary because your current version hasn't given the results you want, so evolving into a better version of yourself is the next logical step to help you think and act differently. Each day or week, capture your light bulb moments or inspirational ideas and write them down. Alternatively, focus on an area of interest or identify gaps in an industry, document your findings, and take action based on your insights. The fundamental step in the action phase of the model is to consciously work on your own small projects outside of work. By the 3rd month, select at least one idea and take action before the 6-month period ends. Put your ideas into action. If possible, collaborate with reliable people. They are the true key to success. For the evaluation phase, use a 6-month review period, similar to quarterly reports, to track your progress. 6 months is enough time to assess whether your ideas are working and to make necessary adjustments. Ask yourself, what have I accomplished in the past 6 months? Without a similar approach or engagement in meaningful small projects beyond routine work and daily errands, something many of us do and love, it's easy to reach 6 months with little more than receipts, bills, debts, tickets, junk mail, gossip, office politics, and repetitive work conversations. Trust me, I've seen this cycle repeat many times, while waiting for something to magically change. If you do nothing, your biannual report will likely look similar, or only slightly different from the one 6 months ago. Also, the same challenges will persist and sometimes even worsen until you eventually resign yourself to thinking, oh, this is just my luck. In the following 6 months, continue refining existing ideas and projects while developing new ones. Repeat this cycle every 6 months and watch your efforts lead to meaningful growth. Remember, you are in business for yourself. If you're working on something tangible like the trapezium group or investing your time and effort like the isosceles group, you'll see results or make significant progress toward your goals within 6 months. All 5 laws apply here as well, so don't get discouraged when things don't work. Failure is both a refiner and an evaluator. Members of the isosceles and trapezium groups have mastered the art of failure. The more failures they experience, the more confident they become. The aim is to fail fast, learn quickly, and focus on what works to maintain your energy and excitement. Equally, they understand that failing is just part of the process. What matters is taking the assessment again and succeeding. This group has learned how to put it all together around failure. And the best part, you and I can do it too. I've also observed that some companies in the trapezium group don't wait 6 months to evaluate their progress. They hold weekly meetings and produce quarterly reports to stay on track and guide their efforts toward desired outcomes. If these companies dedicate time to monitoring their progress and you work for them, why would you leave your own life to chance? Taking small actions will strengthen your mind and create lasting progress. Good molecular habits must be intentionally developed under this model. It's how the human mind works, especially as it becomes less adaptable after childhood. If you follow this approach consistently, your 6-month cycle will gradually shorten to 3 months, then 1 month, and eventually bi-weekly as you refine and adjust instead of starting from scratch. According to Newton's first law of motion, the hardest part is overcoming inertia. Just as an object at rest requires a force to start moving, embarking on a new journey, like your 6-month journey, requires effort to get things going. Once you push past that initial resistance, momentum builds and progress becomes easier as you overcome your activation energy and move beyond your transition states, allowing you to continue moving forward with greater ease. This simple yet powerful practice will yield tangible results over time, and you will know that you're moving up the pyramid when you start seeing results and begin thinking about your projects or business, rather than just focusing on your work, family, and friends. Your emails and phone conversations are great indicators of your direction in this model. Conclusion: choice, action, and direction. 1. Remember, the future is yours if you dedicate time today to plan and take action using the models and laws. Your goal is to build an entire industry from a single idea or a fusion of hybridized ideas, and to elevate those around you into millionaires and billionaires. This is what people in the isosceles group have done. Transitioning within the pyramid makes this possible, and it's largely a mental state driven by decisions and actions, both of which you control, and these factors determine your direction. Deciding to change your current mental state towards building and owning equity in companies is choosing growth over merely earning a wage, surviving, and eventually fading into obscurity. There is no conspiracy or setup. The pyramidal structure is fixed and you can work with it. 2. Embrace a better vision and reduce your fear. Have the courage to challenge yourself to succeed, stay consistent in your efforts, and maintain the confidence that you will win. Ultimately, envision your reality at the top of the pyramid, the isosceles slice. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln. See you there. The end.